Hi, welcome back to my podcast, Jordan. Today we will address MLB, NFL, and open the door for any questions we have for each other. In the MLB, on Monday there were 12 games on. Nationals beat the Dodgers 4-1. Reds beat the Marlins 11-2. Braves beat the Phillies 4-0. Orioles beat the Rays 5-1. Red Sox beat the Guardians 3-1. Tigers beat the Padres 12-4. Oakland beat Astros 7-5. What do you think of those games so far?
Good games like that. So I think because you gotta look at, they're talking about Oakland might be moving to a new stadium. So they're still work. They might move them to Vegas, like they did with the Oakland Raiders. So they're trying to look for a new stadium because they're not getting the much crowds for Oakland. So they say that it's up in the air. I think the owner can move them because he's got the money to move them to Vegas because that's a lot of fans for baseball. And it's not that far because you could drive or take a plane if you're an Oakland fan. If that stadium fills, then you start seeing money coming in. You might see some big players for Oakland. It's not for sure yet.
Is it more likely for Oakland to move to a new stadium than the Angels move stadiums? Which team is more likely to move at this point in the season?
I mean, I think I want to see Oakland to get a new stadium because if, say, they move to, like, Oakland to Vegas, I think that could give them a new stadium and more crowds. And I like that because there's a lot of people who live in Vegas. And like that, and I know you're going to see a lot of fans going to an Oakland game out in Vegas once in a while. And I think because they got the room out there for a big stadium. So I think it might be the Oakland A's moving out there. So I'm hoping they do.
And the Angels now move to Long Beach.
So
Speaking of the Angels, did you see that they might be trading away Ohtani?
Yeah, I seen that.
But I heard that if they give away Ohtani, then they would have the league's best farm system.
Yeah, so you could look at the Dodgers,
Yankees.
the Yankees, because those two teams have a good camps, like for good players, because you could get a lot of players for him.
Just imagine Ohtani with Aaron Judge. But did you see that girl, what's his name? On the Yankees, I don't know how to pronounce his first name. His last name is Stanton.
Oh, Stanton?
He's injured right now.
Yeah.
So it would be good for Ohtani to fill those shoes.
Yeah, they have a lot of players on that team right now.
To fill in for Stanton, then getting Ohtani.
Yeah, because you have some big names on that team they don't really use very much. Like
Anthony Rizzo.
Like Rizzo, he's one of them. And then you have the guy who used to play for the Texas Rangers. He's on the Yankees. He's an outfielder.
Isaiah.
And there's another guy. His last name starts with the G. I can't remember his name. And so they have a lot of guys who could hit a lot of home runs for the Yankees. And they got to do something about Judge because he turned down 2 offers already for the Yankees. And he's going to, anybody who picks him up is going to, because he's still getting paid by the Yankees. If, say, he gets traded to any team he wants, you don't have to worry about paying him right now because he's still getting paid by the Yankees, and that goes for the Washington Nationals. He's still getting paid for the Nationals. If he's on the trade deadline, he could go with. There's a couple teams who wants him. It's the Yankees. Except I don't see the Yankees getting him because they have a lot of power and already, and they should. The Dodgers don't need him because they got a lot of power. The Mets could probably take. The Mets got a lot of power. They need just pitching. They already got a defense already.
The Mets beat the Yankees last night 6-3. And also, Cubs beat the Pirates 3-2 on Monday. Warriors beat the Angels 7-0. It does. I saw that this injury for Mike Trout could be worse than people anticipated.
Yeah, for me, I think what they should.
Just shut him down for the season. That the Angels are not going to make the playoffs.
Yeah, and then the thing he should never. I mean, for me, I know I love the Angels and I love Mike Trout. Watching him play for over the years. I think because he signed that 12-year deal with him, I think he should just never signed it and look for a better team that to be in the postseason. He's a good player. Like that, you need to move him to different outfields because he's almost 30. Move him to left or right. He should. I mean, because he has that no trade clause. Dude, if he decided to pick the teams he wants to play with, there's a lot of teams he could play with to get to be in for a title.
Do you think it would be better if Mike Trout went to the Yankees and Aaron Judge was on the Angels from the start? Let's just a hypothetical. Let's say Mike Trout was not on the Angels; he was on the Yankees. Would Mike Trout have a World Series with the Yankees? And Aaron Judge be on the Angels. If Aaron Judge and Mike Trout swap teams, who do you think would be more likely to win the World Series?
I could see him going to the Yankees because he lives in Philly. It's not that far from him like that. I could see him playing with the Yankees, except I think for me,
trade Mike Trout for Aaron Judge. Mike Trout, Ohtani, and Rendon for Mike Trout. Mike Trout, Anthony Rendon, Shohei Ohtani for Aaron Judge, Aroldis Chapman, and Anthony Rizzo.
I think that could really help. Like that, if they could put
But the Angels need pitching, not hitters.
Yeah, I know. So they need pitching. And, it's better to trade Ohtani. And say you put Ohtani and Mike Trout up, you could get a lot of players from the Dodgers. Because Dodgers and Houston and the Yankees have a good AAA minor system for those three teams. I could see one of those guys. I could see Ohtani going to the Yankees for the pitching, and like that.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, and
Max Scherzer.
Yeah. He could go play for the Mets because that would be.
You know what the Angels should do? They should try to figure out a way to get Jacob deGrom to win. So instead of deGrom coming back from his injury playing with the Mets, the Angels could call up the Mets and offer a deal for Jacob deGrom.
Yeah. If the Angels could keep what's his name they got from the Mets last year, if they could sign him to a 3-year deal and get deGrom for a 3-year deal, and then they need to figure out it's not the hitting, it's the pitching. That's what everybody gets mad about, and and that's why they lose a lot of fans. You know, everybody still loves the Angels, and they'll still go to games. Except you're not gonna see. You're not gonna see. It took them 42 years to win a World Series, and it's gonna take them. They need pitching. You know, not hitters, like big hitters to help. It's just the pitching. That's all you need. You know, that's pitching wins baseball games. Look at the Giants. Look how they won.
Struggling.
Except look at how they won 3 World Series because of pitching. You know, look at the first year they won the World Series. They had no big names on that team. It was just nobodies on that. And you know, and look at the Yankees. Look at the Yankees did all those years. Like the last time they won the World Series, it was like in 2000. And look, it took them 9 years to win one in 2009.
What year did Derek Jeter retire?
I'm gonna say like 2000, like somewhere in 2014 or 2016, somewhere around there.
Did they win the World Series with Derek Jeter?
Yeah, in 2009, they won. He had 4 rings.
So it's been 13 years.
13 years.
And for the Angels, it's been 20 years.
Yes.
The Angels are worse.
Yeah, I think.
But Yankees could win this year. But if they face the Mets in the World Series, just look at last night's game, for example. It was 6-3 New York Mets.
Yeah. So it could go like, so everybody who has their own they have like the Mets, and then they have like Atlanta, and then they have the Dodgers, the Padres, all in that system. And you got baseball is good, except it's like, I think the Angels are not going to be nowhere for a long, long time. I think Houston is going to be that team be in first place for a long, long time. And
I'm surprised that Astros are still in first place I'm surprised that the Astros are in first place with all the players they got rid of.
Yeah, and I know, I mean, all the hitters, most of them left.
Speaking of hitters, how is Chris Bryant doing in Colorado? They won on Monday 2-0 against the Brewers. Diamondbacks beat the Giants 7-0, and then Mariners beat the Rangers 4-3. But back to Chris Bryant.
For Chris Bryant, I think...
Was that a good contract, or are they not doing very good?
Only the one... I mean, that's not a great contract for Chris Bryant.
Was it 10 years?
I think it was 7 years for no trade. The one guy who's doing really great with the Colorado Rockies is C.J. Cron, who used to play for the Angels. He's having a good year. And
How about Charlie Blackmon?
He's doing all right. He's not the... See, that's the one thing the Colorado messed up on. See, he was doing great. The first year after he came up from Colorado, and he was doing great, and he had so the last 3 years he had the biggest good years. He hit 30 home runs, and then that one year, the last year he hit about 40, and then he signed a 6-year contract
Extension. How
And
many home runs does he have this year?
He's only at 15 home runs.
Oh, wow. He went down here.
Yeah.
And Aaron Judge at 37.
He has 38 home runs.
He hit another one last night?
Yeah.
he could do what Otani did last year. Otani like hit like what was it like 50?
45. He had 45 home runs.
Do you think Aaron Judge beats that this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you still have a long season.
What is the record for most home runs in a season?
Right now it's like the most home runs. I mean, right now it's all been 45, 47. Say if he could probably hit 50. If he keeps it going,
He could set the all-time record.
he could probably hit 50 home runs. Like what he did, he was a rookie. He hit that 50 home runs, 53. He hit 53 home runs with them, and I thought he was the rookie of the year. And he could still hit 50 or 40 something home runs this year. See what happens for Chris Bryant. He's not that everybody says that was like he should went to a good team for that kind of deal. Except the Colorado makes bad decisions on the deals. So okay, say Chris Bryant plays for 2 years with Colorado, and then say you watch in 2 years they're gonna be talking about moving that contract because they don't know how, because they can't get nobody to come in because that's why pitchers don't. That's why the pitchers don't play in Colorado because that ball jumps and they out for home runs because that's a cool ball. So that ball travels out, left, center, right. That's why pitchers don't go play because they get bad ERAs like that. The ERAs go up to 7 with balls getting hit, line drives, home runs.
Yes.
That's why they go play different teams, and they keep the average down to about 2 to 1 like that. That's why you don't see a lot of big names going to Colorado because those big players like hitting like that. And that goes through with the Baltimore Orioles, like Chris Davis. He signed that 8-year deal with them. He's not even playing no more. He's retired. He's been with them off that team for 2 years, and he's sitting at home still getting paid by the Orioles, not even playing no more. See, that's like the bad deals they make.
How about Juan Soto? And then we will move on to last night's games in an NBA.
Juan Soto.
Do you have any updates for the people watching?
I think.
What teams is he targeting?
It could be the Mets,
Yankees, Astros, Dodgers.
Yes. So
Otani for Soto.
Nah, I can't see that because I can't see him going to the Angels like that because he can't really help the Angels. I could see him.
Oakland.
Oakland don't have that kind of money to pay for that.
How about the Padres?
The Padres, they could probably do because they got a good farm system. So I could see him.
What?
I could see they move the first Hosmer. I could see him moving to the Nationals for him.
Speaking of Padres, Tatis Jr. coming back this week?
They said he was supposed to be back this week. They said that.
Are they delaying his return date too?
Yeah, they're.
I wonder if they're waiting for Mike Trout to return for Fernando Tatis to return.
So what I heard last week, he was supposed to be back this week. That's what I heard that by the GM. The GM, he said he was supposed to be back next week to play. So I thought he'll be back this week playing with them.
Today's Wednesday, so we should have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So,
but let's see what happens.
Yeah.
On Tuesday, there were 15 games on last night. Nationals beat the Dodgers 8-3. Oakland again beat Astros. Astros are struggling against Oakland for some reason. Diamondbacks beat Giants 7-3. Mariners beat the Rangers 5-4. Cubs beat the Pirates 4-2. Marlins beat the Reds 2-1. Braves beat the Phillies 6-3. Orioles beat the Rays 5-3. Blue Jays beat the Cardinals 10-3. Wow. Red Sox and Guardians beat the Red Sox 8-3, and the Mets beat the Yankees 6-3. In 10 innings, Jordan, guess what?
What?
Padres beat the Tigers 6-4. Last night, the Angels beat the Warriors 6-0. Brewers beat the Twins 7-6, and White Sox beat the Rockies 2-1.
You're gonna see like
Even though the Angels are not in the playoffs this year, they're still winning.
Yeah. So I mean, for all these teams, it
looks like Phillies are going down here now.
yeah.
Have you checked the standings lately or not since we talked about it last week?
The Philly for the wild card.
Are they in fourth?
No, they're in third place behind the
Cardinals?
No, behind the Padres.
But barely.
They're only 3 games back for the wild card.
But right now they're in fourth place.
Yeah. So they're like.
I don't think Phillies are gonna make the playoffs.
No. So I think it'll be for right now.
If Bryce Harper comes back, then they have a chance.
Yeah, they have a chance for him to come back. So right now it's still Atlanta, and
even though Dodgers are on a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, and then the Padres are second behind the Atlanta for the wild card.
Who's in first?
For the wild card, it's Atlanta. Atlanta.
Who's better than Atlanta? Oh yeah, the Dodgers.
The Dodgers. So the Mets are still in first place in the division, except Atlanta is first for the wild card. Then in second is
they're 2 games behind the Mets.
Yeah. So if the Atlanta can catch up and win a bunch of games, they could probably take first. So let's see what happens.
Okay. In the NFL starts next Thursday. Julio Jones agreed to a deal with the Buccaneers. It's only a 1-year deal, though. Bengals, Joe Burrow is going to have a adectomy. Seahawks, you know the Chris Carson on the Seahawks?
Yeah.
He's retiring because of a neck injury.
Yeah.
And then, the Cardinals' new wide receiver, Marquez Brown, he's sidelined with a hamstring issue. Okay, now let's ask and answer some questions.
Well, you want to talk about baseball or football?
For questions?
Yeah.
NFL.
Okay. So, I think for that 1-year deal for the Buccaneers, he could win to any team for like that. And they were saying all on the news, like all the sports news, they were talking about it.
Sports Center.
They were saying, they were naming names off, the teams he should went to, like the Rams, like Green Bay, like the 49ers, Kansas City, like the big names, like New Orleans, like them. They were all saying, he should went to there, he should went to, I thought maybe go play for the Rams, maybe for a 1-year deal, because if you put him on the Rams, man, that team would be great,
Is Beckham Jr. still on the Rams?
Yeah. Beckham Jr. is still there.
Is he going to stay there with the season starting next week? Because remember, right after they won the Super Bowl, there was speculation that he might leave. But he got injured.
Yeah.
Is he still injured or is he recovered?
He's recovered.
So he's staying in LA?
Yeah. That'd be a good deal for him to stay with the Rams.
Cooper Kupp?
Yeah. Those guys.
Odell Beckham Jr.?
And say you had
Allen Robertson?
Yeah. And then you say like that guy who went to the Buccaneers. If say he went to the Rams, man, that'd be a good fit because you could pass different balls, football to any players to him like that. I mean, everybody was just why you go to the Buccaneers? What you? I mean, Brady's not the same player he used to be in his 20s and his 30s. He's in his 40s. He doesn't have it anymore because he stays in the pocket. It's not like all these running backs who can throw the football and move out of the pocket. Except he just, I mean, that's why. And in his 40s, he doesn't have it anymore. I love the guy. I love him. Except he's not the same.
Who are you talking about?
Brady. He's not the same guy he used to be, the quarterback in the day.
Did you hear what they said about Kyle Murray?
What?
The reason why he got destroyed by the Rams was because he was not studying film, and when he was studying film, he was like watching TV or playing video games. Like he was not being a team player, and they were saying on the radio last night how that's gonna affect next season.
I mean,
and the contract to begin with him.
I mean, yeah, I know he doesn't practice with the team or he does his stuff.
He plays video games.
Yeah, except I can admit, he's good on the field. He's always been good.
If he was good, he would have beaten the Rams.
Yeah.
Was that just one bad game?
Just the one bad game. Except, I mean, you can't judge a guy who likes doing all that stuff to have fun, that's who he is. He's gonna, not to show up or, you know what I mean?
Yes. Do you have any questions regarding baseball?
Who do you think who's gonna catch up Judge for the home runs? Who's gonna catch up to him?
I would have to see who's second place. Maybe that one guy from the Mets.
The guy who's in second place.
Pete Alonso.
No, he's only 20. He's only has 25 home runs. It's he's from Philly. He has
Bryce Harper.
Not Bryce Harper. It starts with a K. He played for the Cubs.
Chris Bryan.
No, not Chris Bryan. I can't remember his name. He has 30 home runs. He has only 8 points. He's got 30 home runs from Philly. And
who do you think's gonna make it to the World Series?
I'm gonna say I'm hoping the Yankees. I don't want to see the Dodgers. I want to see the Yankees in it. And I want to see the Mets.
Okay, one more thing. Is it more likely for Oakland to make? Do you think it's more likely for Seattle to make the playoffs or the Phillies? Which team? Or do you have to watch both games?
I have to watch both games, like how you're saying. So it was, like, say, an honest question. I want to see the Philly more than the Seattle. So I have to watch both of those games, how you said. So I have to see how Seattle's doing in the wild card, and I got to see how Philly's doing in the wild card. If Bryce Harper comes back, that's my second team who could come out of the wild card.
Who?
Philly. If Bryce Harper comes back this week or next week, I think it might be Philly.
Okay, last thing. Dodgers, Padres, Phillies in the playoffs. Agree or disagree?
I want to see the Padres. I want to see the Padres in it against Philly. I don't want to see the Dodgers or Houston.
Okay, my predictions are Yankees versus Atlanta in the World Series.
That I mind seeing that. That's a good game because.
Or LA versus New York.
So
My number one pick is Yankees versus Atlanta, and my second pick is Dodgers versus Yankees.
So I might. Okay, here's one I have. I don't mind seeing the Dodgers. The Dodgers versus the Yankees, and then seeing the the Yankees, seeing who I don't want to see Houston in it, except there's nobody out. I mean, Houston.
Blue Jays
The Blue Jays. I want to see the Blue Jays
against the Braves.
Braves in the World Series.
Okay. Thank you, Jordan, for joining us today. Next week, Logan will be back. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Bye.
Bye.